Alright, so this morning I am disassembling my front suspension on both sides. I have new ball joints coming in, top and bottom, new control arm bushings and spindles, and we're cutting a coil off the spring. So we're going to get everything disassembled. I already have new inner outer tie rods, sleeves, new pitman arm, new idler arm, new steering box, and new rag joint. So now we're moving on to replacing the rest of this. And also, the upper control arms, they're not adjustable from the factory. There's a knockout in there on both sides you have to take out. So we're going to take that out too. So let's get some tools and start tearing stuff up. Alright, first thing first, we're going to take the calipers off with this 3/8 inch tool. Okay, let's take our new tie rod out, get that out of the way, and we'll move on to maybe something like the sway bar, which the hardware I'm probably going to break, and we'll do ball joints. Okay, so we got the rotor off. You just pop the cover off, take the nut off, and it just kind of falls out. I'll keep it all together here. We took the brake shield off, just a couple of 13 millimeters, and we've already loosened up our ball joints. We have our sway bar link out, so now we're going to try to knock these loose. So the first thing we're going to try is the BFM method. So we're going to knock it right here on this ball joint. So we're going to knock it right here. Alright, that one went. That one went. BFM for the win. I don't have to use my fork thingy. I'm going to put this right against the edge of the pocket spring. Just a little pressure. Don't need a lot. I'm gonna unscrew these. These are 1 1/16. Control arm out, and now we're going to do the dangerous part. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you important information. This is for entertainment purposes only. You shall never try this. Jack's down, everything's collapsed. You just want to get that spring out of here. Okay, spring's out. So I knew this one was pretty bad. Okay, let's see if you can hear it. Beautiful. This one's not too terrible. It's time for replacement though. It don't feel good, but it don't sound that bad. I don't know if you can see that. I could like look. On the upper ball joints, we have to grind these rivets out so we get rid of the upper ball joint. The lower is just a press in, so we're going to press them out and press them in. Yeah, so let me get the other side tore down, and you'll see me with the uppers and the grinder next. Okay, so here's our upper control arms. I'm about to start grinding these rivets off. So let me get set up and start throwing sparks. Alright, you need eye protection and hearing protection. I like to put on Pandora. I think today we're listening to country hymns. You guys find what works for you. Alright, we got everything ground down. Now all I got to do is punch the bolts out for the rivets. Alright, day 2. Today we're going to get it together. I've got all the bushings out. So first I tried to heat them with the torch. Well, first with a heat gun, didn't work. Then I went with the torch and it just still taking too long. So I drilled out The back ones just drilled a bunch of holes and just kind of wiggled it till it came loose. On the upper control arms, there's a little different story. They have metal plates, so I torched these and that worked like a dream. So today we're going to clean it up. So for the upper control arms, we're just going to use the Dremel with a little sanding pad. On the lower control arms, I'm going to use this. This is too big for the upper control arm, so it won't fit. That's all we're going to do. There's not really much cleanup involved here. They came out pretty clean, so this should be pretty easy. Okay, so we're going to put the bushings in the lower control arms. Please note there are two size differences. Yeah, you see I found out the hard way. Alright, so this is going to be the big one. As you can tell, it's too big for that one. And so the lower one will go here. Alright, so I have the lower one greased up already, so let's slide that one in, huh? So as you can see, I have cleaned these out. These cleaned up pretty good with the sanding pad on the drill. So here is what I found works the best. Just kind of squeeze it in. And then I got a little 4x4 down here on the ground. So we're going to have this gutter on the side, so I move that so it's not on the way, and I just push, maybe tap it a few times, so we get that nice solid tone. So I'm going to grease up the bushing. Alright, so my ball joints have been in the freezer since yesterday. They are nice and cool. Let's get these put in, huh? Alright, so alright, we have the inners and the control arms. These upper control arms will get that they're not staying in. Ball joints in, we have to put the grease fitting in them still. That's the upper spring isolator. And if you notice, ready to go. So this is the bottom of the spring. This is the top where the isolator sat. So we're cutting one coil off the bottom. I use a cutoff wheel. It's always been my tool of choice for this. And then cut it. We just come right here. Just go straight down. Get as close as we can. Alright, let's get our ball joint in. The upper ball joint. Now that we've grinded off the old ball joint, this one's just kind of bolts in. So we're just kind of twist it, get the boot in. So the lock washer is going to go on the side you put the nut on. Okay, so we're going to not tighten the bolts, just going to make them snug. Upper and lower control arms. Now, one thing I like to do on anything I'm putting together, all my bolts will go this way, from the front to the back. I don't care how the factory ever does them, other than these arms up here, I think they can only go in. Yeah, these are in the same way too. So all my bolts will go in front to back. Makes me feel better. So right now I'm going to just tighten these bolts, snug, not tight, because we don't want to tighten them until after we get the truck sitting at right height. So after I get it all together and on the ground, we'll tighten them. But let's get that done, then we'll put our spring in, and then our spindle. Alright, so we're going to take our spring. This is the top. We're going to put our isolator back on. I'm going to use my Harbor Freight electrical tape, because this is about the only thing it's good for. And that's even pushing the limits, I think. Now inside this bucket for the spring, it has, this will sit inside of it, so our spring is going to go around that, so that's what we need to line up. 5RM link. Alright, let's put some grease on our spindle. Okay, after we get it all back together, remember, your ball joints are new, you need to grease them. And it's a good time to grease anything else it's not new. Obviously I got new tie rods, so they've already been greased. And you may notice I have my original spindles back on. The spindles that came with the truck were for an HD suspension or extended cab, which I guess is pretty popular. So I'm going to have to wait till I get new rotors and calipers and brakes and bearings to fit an HD suspension. But for now, this will just get us back running again. Yeah, after this, we take it for an alignment. Get it back together, get on its own feet, and see how she steers now.